Hey everyone, today we are here to talk about the latest release from Urban Decay Cosmetics. It is the Naked 3 mini palette. This palette contains 6 new shades inspired by the original Naked 3, but they cannot be found in the original Naked 3. I will have swatches later on in the video showing you what they most closely resemble in the original palette, which I have right here. Like I said, there are 6 shades, 4 shimmer, 2 matte, definitely rosy undertones, very travel-friendly package. I actually love this packaging. I like the gold. It very much reflects the original, but honestly, I think it is an improvement on the original packaging. I much prefer the plastic to this kind of cheap metal feeling. One quick programming note, if you are watching this the day this video goes live on Tuesday, July 6th, and you are a fan of the Nordstrom anniversary sale, then you are well aware that the catalog preview went live on Nordstrom's website today. Do not fear, I will be here on Friday with my regular annual, I've lost track, I think it's 6th, 7th annual, something like that, review of the Nordstrom anniversary sale catalog with all of my recommendations and suggestions. If you missed my previous video that I just put up on Sunday walking you through my tips and suggestions for how to get the best Nordstrom sale experience, go ahead and watch that. I've tagged it up above and we'll list it down in the description box. Now, let's hop back to before I put all this on and get to the review. The PR literature that came along with this PR gift states that all 6 shades are vegan, highly pigmented, and can be worn wet or dry for up to 12 hours of wear time. We will put that to the test. I will update that in the description box. I thought it'd be fun to just go ahead and start slapping it on. All the rest of my makeup is already applied, and I'll list that down in the description box if you're interested in learning more about what I already have on my face. But I thought I would just grab this, do a little chit chat, and I'll add in some swatches and close-ups of other palettes as we go along. Let me grab some brushes. So my eyes are already primed with the NARS eyeshadow primer, and I think I'm just going to start with the mid-tone pink here, and it is called Laced Up. I have seen on the Urban Decay website a few looks, not full-on tutorials, but from very simple, just a wash of one color all the way to fully smoked out. I'm gonna do maybe something a little bit in between. So I'm just taking a fluffy brush and putting this in the crease to start. This is one of the 2 matte shades. And I would have to disagree with the highly pigmented part of this, but we'll see how it continues to go. I think if you are a fan of Pillow Talk, the Pillow Talk palette from Charlotte Tilbury, I have that here. I'll show it to you in a minute. If you're a fan of that, but you're looking for a little more versatility and a slightly lower price point as far as per shadow, I think you're going to prefer this palette. There are definitely some similarities across the 2. So this is that mid-tone pink that I just showed you just across the socket line. And while I do have a slightly darker foundation on, I'm still definitely in the fair range of skin tone, and it is barely showing up on me. Before we get any farther actually in this demonstration, let me go ahead and show you all 6 shades swatched on my hand. As you can see, I have all 6 swatched on the back of my hand. This is from the far left of the palette, and I'm just moving my way through all 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I am kind of famous for having not great initial first impressions of Urban Decay palettes, and then as I wear them more, I tend to like them more. But I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing is that I am very fair-skinned, and these are not showing up particularly deeply on my skin. They are not as pigmented as I would like. Now I'm going to compare them to the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk palette that does have quite a bit of overlap. There is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. Obviously you only get 4 shades. One of them is more glitter than anything else, and 2 mattes as compared to these. They're similar, but I would say that the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, this one, is more warm-toned. It had some reddish peach undertones to it, whereas the Urban Decay palette is definitely more cool-toned with a couple, I'd say that 2 of the shimmer shades have some coppery undertones, but mostly cooler tones. Just wanted you to see where we're going with this. Okay, so using this as a guide to how we're going to continue, I am going to put the second shade in the palette. It is called Public, and I'm going to use my finger because I have found that shimmer shades tend to pay off better when applied with a finger. I'm going to start with the outer. No, I'm going to put it all across the lid. How about that? It's very creamy to the touch, but I'm just not seeing the shimmer and the richness of tone that I would kind of expect to get from an Urban Decay eyeshadow palette. Now, they do say that these can be applied wet as well. I'm not going to bother with that because if they can't perform well dry at this price point, then I would stop you here. I'm also going to try applying it with a brush to see if that works better. Okay, I'm going to skip over to the fourth shade in the palette, which is Stolen, right there, and I'm going to put that across the outer half of the eye. And I'm going to bring it up so at least when my eyes open, you can see some of that. I will say I'm not seeing any fallout, which is nice, but I'm also not seeing as much pigment as I like. So I don't know. I'm going to go back a little bit with my finger and see. No, that does absolutely nothing. Okay, to add some definition to the socket line and outer corner, especially because you can't really even see that initial crease color that I applied, I'm going to go in with the second matte shade, which is called Right Time. There it goes. And I'm going to use a slightly smaller brush for that. So because it's smaller and more dense, I should get more color payoff as well. I'm just going to poke that into the corner. Really? Urban Decay. I think I've just guaranteed I'm off their PR list. Okay, anyway, I'm pulling that up into the socket line. It's very soft. I mean, if you want a very soft look, by all means, you may enjoy this. I can't think off the top of my head, but I'm fairly certain there are some ColourPop palettes with similar tones that will get you these rosy tones with way better color payoff and blendability and way lower price point. I'm just going to pinch this, put it back in the same shade I just applied, and run this under my eyes. I don't know if you can hear Mimi snoring, but she is sawing wood right at my feet. I mean, remember that eyeshadow palette that I just used in my Friday Get Ready With Me? That was one of the new palettes from Walmart, and I didn't like that one very much. That one had better payoff than this. Okay. Before we completely throw this under the bus, I'm going to take a small smudger brush. I'm going to go in with the lightest shimmer shade, the lightest shade in the palette called Glassy. I had such high hopes for this. I think this is such a great concept because, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised they didn't start off with the Naked One version, like Naked One inspired shades in a small palette like this, because one, we can't even get the Naked One anymore, and just do it in numerical order because I'm a little anal that way. I popped it in the corners. You can't even tell. I'm going to do one more trick. I'm actually going to take an Urban Decay brush. It's from the Naked 2 palette, and it's synthetic, so it usually will give you a more denser, pigmented look, and I'm going to use that to put it in a little more in the inner corner. Let me zoom you in here. Can you see anything? No, you cannot. All right, let me curl my lashes, and then we'll talk. So mascara is applied. I will update in the description box how this wears after about 8 hours. I got a late start on videoing today, so I'm not going to be able to give you the full 12, but I think we know where I'm going with this. One more thing. So these are the original swatches I showed you at the beginning of this palette. These are some of the corresponding shades in the original Naked 3. This, the mini, was numerous passes. This is one dip of my finger and a quick swatch across the back of my hand. So, my initial strong first impression, sorry Urban Decay, thank you so much for the gift. Pass on the Naked 3, just get the full-size one. I feel like it's a better investment of your money. The shadows are fantastic. I don't have anything bad to say about this palette. You will not be disappointed as long as you like rosy tones. And I think there's a nice balance of slightly deeper shades, mid-tones and lights, shimmers and mattes. Whereas with this, I don't see it. I don't see the appeal. I had such high hopes. All right, so that is it. Check the description box for all the details. I'd love to hear your opinion. Have you gotten your hands on this already? What do you think? Do you agree with my initial assessment? Do you think you're going to go ahead and buy this anyway, or are you going to pass? And if you love these cooler rosy tone shades, well, some of them are cool. Let me know in the description box some of your favorite palettes that have those tones instead of this one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.